Andrea, I think it's destiny that we are ready to discuss Providence Falls and find out where we stand. Is it fate that we agree, or no, we do not? Are you ready?
I guess.
Oh, this is Eric,
This is Andrea.
and it's Hallmark Mysteries
And
and more.
more.
Andrea, this is how dedicated and how ready I am to talk Providence Falls. I am sitting in a hotel room in Springfield, Ohio. I brought my computer. I had to bring my AirPods to, log in. I got my ring light in my suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
I packed half of my suitcase was my stuff to be able to podcast, and I'm like, I'll be wearing the same clothes because I gotta record. That's how dedicated I am to this podcast.
Well, shoot, next week I'm traveling. So I don't know if I'm
Without
that
any of
dedicated
those
with a ring
things,
light. I'm not going to probably bring. I will have my iPad and my wireless headphones.
we will roll.
Well,
Oh
I just
boy.
asked you, I was like, do you think we're getting new movies in September?
And which I was like, thanks for even checking out our own Instagram where we posted the other day, Mystery Island House Rules. And we had someone ask if we recommend Mystery Island, to which the answer was, it depends on who you ask.
Eric loves it. Andrea, not so much. So then I asked you, are there anything good coming out in September?
You know, here's where I'm thinking. I think we're going to get Mystery Island. I think we're going to get two more, a late September and an early October. Haunted Harmony, True Justice. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will
I
take
know
it.
what
I
it's
will
not
take
going to
either
be.
of those. Curious Cater.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Curious Skater.
No. Oh, well, shoot. Okay. Well, I'm excited. We have stuff planned and we got lots of new content this week or this month, I should say. Well, this week and this month. But, we'll have our Golden Girls. Maybe it aired, maybe it won't as I'm recording this. Depends on Eric's
Yes.
work-life balance right here.
How much editing I can do on the road.
I know. Oh,
So,
well, let's dive into Providence Falls. Chance of a Lifetime. This was the first movie of the trilogy. Cora, a newbie police detective, is partnered with visiting detective Liam on her first case. Little does she know, Liam is her reincarnated love, here to change her fate. This stars Katie Stevens, Lachlan Quarmby, and Evan Roderick. Okay, so truth be told, I am now trying to view it as I told you when you sent me a message. And I was like, I have no notes. I scribbled in some notes. But I was like, you know what? I was going to try to watch it again, but I couldn't watch. I watched 26 minutes. So I'm 26 minutes into my second viewing.
wait, you
Now,
only had 26 minutes, or after 26 minutes, you bailed?
I only had because we had to
Okay.
hop on and record.
Okay.
And so, true to Andrea fashion, what happens when I view things twice? I like them better. And so, what do you know? Now, again, I'm only 26 minutes in, so I don't want to give this like a ringing endorsement, but originally I gave it a 3. I will say, I feel like I could give it a little bit higher than that after watching it now for the second time. Because the first time, I think what happened, and I think this happened to me, I know a lot of people because I also went into the DMs or in my personal DMs in my Hallmark account, back and forth with people about had the same thoughts I did, and they were going to view it twice because this is one where there are a ton of different characters. And so the first time viewing it, you're like, wait, who is this? That's her father. I completely forgot that was her father when he came back on later. You forget who Liam is. Like I keep thinking Liam. I don't know why, but Evan Roderick to me is Liam. And so whenever time someone said Liam, I feel like his name should be Liam. I don't know why. So I am like, okay, it's Liam, but that's not Liam. So I'm now in my own head about all of the different characters, trying to keep everything straight and then trying to grasp that this is a three-parter. So you've obviously seen them multiple times and have seen all three. So you're coming at it from a completely different angle when you give your review. I have only seen this first one and a quarter times. So I am trying to figure out, do I like this better? And I will say I am liking it better the second time through. But in the original, like my original notes, the constant switching of time periods made it difficult to root into this movie overall. I like the premise of it, but it took a while to get its legs for me. I really thought the last 20 minutes was when I originally had this marked out as a 2.5 rating for myself. But I bumped it up to a 3 after the ending because I enjoyed those last 15 minutes. I could see like, okay, this is fun. We have 7 families who are somehow tied together and they're present day. So to me, the bones are there for the next movie. This was an introductory. This was a little bit slower pace, which that is not my favorite thing. So I'm hoping that next movie we're gonna keep on going those last 20 minutes, and I'm gonna like the trajectory for this is gonna go up and up and not crash and burn. What about you?
You, Andrea, here's what I have to say to you. You're very smart because exactly as you're going through and doing this was pretty much what I was going to tell you. First thing to keep in mind, because I was shocked when you were telling me it wasn't getting like all this positive review, and Georgia sent me, things that people were saying they didn't like. I'm like, wait, how? And then I thought back to when I first watched it. In the first episode, I thought, like, I looked at my original notes that I had to were very, very, very light because I knew I was going to watch it again. But I was like, they threw a lot at you. I was confused a lot. I
Yep.
was trying to get going.
Yep.
And without going too much into it, it was kind of, they had to put all that in there for episodes 2 and 3. And so keep in mind, it's a trilogy.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're just getting all the base there. And at times you're kind of lost. And so exactly like you, when I watched it the second time, like I probably would have said, at first I liked it. And mostly I think I liked it because it is beautifully shot, I think. One of the things, if, when you watch it, you realize it's 3 distinctive, like you're saying, the jumping through time. There's destiny, which is very
Yep.
stark white. Then you have present day, which is normal film. Then you go back old, and it's gold. It's very rich, right? So it's like 3 very distinct cinematography things. And but there's just so much, like you say, coming at you. And I was like, wait, who's this? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to, and just like you too, I was like, oh, the ending got me because I was at first getting nervous because like I was, interviewing, I was talking to him. I'm like, uh-oh, I have all this stuff, and I'm going to be like,
I
hey, didn't, and
didn't
Lucy
like it.
Guest, who I think is one of the best directors out there. I was like, oh no, what am I going to say? Right. But at the same time, if a movie does stink, we kind of have to say, hey,
That was my
no, I
favorite.
always like to say it wasn't for us. We
Yeah.
understand maybe what they're trying to do, maybe they missed and whatever. But so yes, I think it's very important to keep in mind this is a trilogy. And they just put a lot in there, and so it's a little overwhelmed. And 2 and 3 are where it's just like, whoa, you had little glimpses of where it's going, but 2 and 3 really, for me, after you see those, one, you understand so much better too, and it's just elevates it. And that's where it got to be like, whoa, better, better, and everything. So,
Do you think this would have
so
been better as like how Mistletoe Murders did it and like released
yeah,
episodes? Or do you like
maybe
this movie?
I thought about that, and maybe, but I personally think, and this was like I say where I was going. I just think, and I believe because Georgia saw the screening too, so that was part of the thing too. It's like, who can I talk to? And it was too complicated, so you didn't want to go through the whole screener. Plus, it's I think good to see the different things, right? Where it's kind of like private eyes. You go ahead and see everything, and then there's me who just unveils it, and a little bit, right? And so, it's interesting that way. I think, I still think they kind of had too much in that episode to stand alone and just be where you're at right now and say, hey, this is good. I totally understand where you're at. But like I say, how you were talking about it today, like, okay, going through it again, I settled down. I now understand some of these little subplots. I, you know, but I don't think a movie you should have to watch 2 times to really get. So I can
Yeah.
see that. But I will say,
So
here's my beginning of my notes that I am going to have to read verbatim. What was the name of your dog when Andrea complains about slow. I knew watching
Ah,
this you were going to talk about it slow, but what was the name of
ah.
your dog? I have no idea what autocorrect happened.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But here it is. What was the name of your dog when Andrea complains about slow? She must microwave everything and just can't be patient and let things marinate and flavors develop. So I knew going into it, and that was my note
Ah,
from
that's
going through that. I
hilarious.
knew you were going to struggle with this one, and it's
Good.
pacing. And I was 100% correct with, except for, well, what is the name of your dog?
Nala.
Okay. What that has to do with anything, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, that was my notes of like watching it the second time. I'm like, okay, I can get more of into it. Plus, I had something I wanted to do afterwards. And so I'm like, come on, let's wrap it up. Let's keep it moving. I'm struggling. I will say this, and I posted this on the Hallmark. I try not to complain about like all the things, but I'm like, really want them to like have people who pay for Hallmark Plus. I want to see this live on Saturday. I want them to release it live for me too, and not have to wait for Sunday because Sundays are like tricky. Like I'm gonna start teaching yoga Sunday morning. So I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to view these. And
Yeah.
you're like, it's family time. You're like, I don't have time to necessarily. I would rather do it Saturday night because I have no plans on Saturday night because I have two young kids. So like that's a better viewing day for me. So I wish that they would do that because reward the people who are paying, right? That's what I think. Like
But
reward
every
us.
streaming thing always does the delay, the 1 day delay.
We'll make it be different. Stand out,
And
Hallmark.
well, why not, right? They messed up every other part of
I
Hallmark Plus.
know.
Make it be different there. So the other thing I wanted to say is I, the minute I saw um, Egon and Samal come in, like the for me, they were, I love those two. And I'll say it does not, that's the two angels.
Okay. I was like, who are those?
Like they're my favorite characters throughout the entire um series. I just love them both. And that's kind of my thing, right? I just love it. And so I know that because I've read a couple of comments where some people thought, like, especially Aegon was a little too over the top
Oh,
and
I
everything.
loved
I
him.
thought he was hilarious. And
Loved him.
I, yeah, I just love the two of them. I thought that was great. The other thing, and I've been debating this with a couple of different people, is people are like complaining about it being a time travel movie. And I will go, this is my thing. It is not a time travel movie.
You
It's
like those?
periods of time because they die, they're reincarnated. It's their future lives that they've gone through. And the only reason why Liam goes from the 1880s to current is because he was lost in limbo due to a clerical error. So he wasn't time jumping. There's no jumping back, jumping forward. He was in limbo. So yes, deals with different periods of time, but there's no time travel per se
Mm-hmm.
in my thing.
I agree with that.
So a lot of people are like, "This is time travel or whatever." I'm like, "No, it's
Hmm.
different periods." So that's my battle, and I will fight on it. So, but I personally, like I said, it's hard for me to view this in isolation because I know everything that's coming. Now, as you've said, I have hyped it up.
Yeah, that you
I
overhyped it to people. So I think that also to anyone who's listening who also fell prey to that, because I
what
was
did our
like,
nemesis what did our nemesis give it?
I don't know,
5 out of 5.
which would track because usually we view things opposites, me and her. Okay, well,
Move
again,
on.
we'll
Was there
see what we
anything that
think.
was other than the slowness? Was there anything else like, or is it just too many characters for you? And
I
there's
found it
two
boring
things
at
that I didn't.
times.
Okay, which goes, I guess, with the slowness, right?
Yeah.
So my issue, well, first of all, the dad. I just have issues of dads like that who just don't trust their kids. Like, I just want what's best for you, and then totally he's like, I don't trust you to do this. Do I have to go down to the police station? Whatever. Dad, not my favorite. And the other thing with my big issue was the very end, I had whiplash because Cora's over there at the barbecue with Ben,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this, that, and the other. And you think, oh, they're getting this connection, and she's acting
Mm-hmm.
like there's a connection. And she literally walks away from him and goes and does this, proclamation to Liam, like, I think we have something. For me, that was the one thing in the movie, even though I've seen it now 3 times, I just, I still can't get over. I think that was a whiplash that doesn't fit. Like, there should have been something like not a moment where she's having with Finn, something in between where she has like reflection or maybe doesn't quite have that connection. She thinks okay, I don't quite have this connection with Liam.
Hmm.
Like something, because it was a whiplash to me. It kind of felt like I was watching was the family movie with the where they all eat dinner on Sunday again. Like that movie was whiplash with the one. Remember, she was like, "Oh, we're just going to take it slow. Hey, I'd like to introduce you to the love of my life." Right?
That's a lot of Hallmark movies.
Whatever. Move on. All right, let's move on.
Oh, mystery
Miss,
minute. Well, I picked kind of the mystery of, I guess, the jewels and the jewelry thief for this one. And that was kind of, I guess, ho hum. I didn't necessarily care either way, but obviously it plays into the old, how the seven people are tied together. And so for me, the mystery really was like, again, those last 20 minutes where you're like, ooh, this is kind of fun. Like, how are they going to do this? How are we going to see these seven fates played out? And, are things going to play out in the same order as they did in the past? So for me, that was more of the mystery than really anything else. That's what I took away from it. What about you?
I
So I
plead the
enjoyed
fifth.
it.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Yeah. So you know too much. You know too
I
much.
know
You're like,
too
I
much, so
can't.
I do not want to. That's why I told you. I'm like, I'm not sure I
Spoil
want
it.
to do the mystery
Okay.
minute.
Well, that is mine. I'm intrigued by all of that and how they're connected, and we will see what
What a
happens.
terrible thief, though, to be wearing in a little small town the big watch that you stole. I think you
Didn't seem
pawned
like a
that thing off.
stand-up guy. Didn't seem like a stand-up guy.
Yeah. And most people, I
Well,
guess, who probably do crimes like that are not probably the smartest
brightest.
people around.
Well, romance roundup. Love triangle. Actually didn't mind it in this case. Like I feel like it fits. I guess I didn't get whiplash. I understand the scene you're talking about because I do recall that one. I did think it was like actually I don't know if I didn't hate it. Which I don't know what that says about me. But I was like, oh, it made me more invested in the movie, I think, that she was so like, hey, ho ho to this guy, and then like
I don't have a problem with
turns
that. My
around and
problem was
walks
just it
away.
literally was
But
right
I feel
after.
like
Like I
that's
needed a
real.
transition.
I feel like that's, I guess, can be realistic. Like I'm like, yeah, you can see people, or at least I've seen people do that. I'm
We
not
won't
going to
go
name
back to
names of my friends,
Andrea, going back to
but
Andrea's
I have
college
seen this
days.
happen in real life. Not college. It was post college, Eric. It was post college. I've seen this happen before. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
like, I didn't mind it. I was intrigued because you're kind of sitting back, like eating popcorn, like, ooh, what's gonna happen here? So for me,
All right.
that played out well. But I know I did get comments in my DMs that people did not like the love triangle and what was happening there. So
No,
again,
no.
it just depends.
It, so for me, I did not think there was. I thought I was going to hate the love triangle because, like I said, I'm a huge Evan Roderick fan. I think he's just great, and he should always get the girl. And so I was convinced, nope, Liam gonna hate the guy. I found him
Liam was
charming,
great.
and I thought
Yeah.
I thought this. Yes, I think it works, and they played it well with the whole destiny where he's trying to do it, but he just can't help it. And so I think it's really good. And then, I mean, Evan is still charming and everything, so it's not like they make him seem like a doofus who is not worthy. I mean, they're two viable, good candidates. 'Cause usually in a love triangle, there's like always like, oh, well, he's clearly not meant for her, but they both are good, viable candidates. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna go for the romance thing of the zipper scene, and that was good. She comes down in her,
Oh.
you're in their dress,
Well, no,
and
I have to remember, Eric, again, watched it, like half watched it, like a
I
normal
know
viewer.
she
So
comes
you
down
have
in
to
the
be more
dress though,
specific.
and no, there's the zipper scene of Hallmark now at this point. That's steamy Hallmark scene. But she's like, oh, is this too much? And he's like, it's only too much if someone can get enough of you. I mean, that is a smooth line, then turns around and then slowly zips up the zipper, which is funny. I realize I definitely zip up my wife's dress wrong all the time because I am always function as quick as I can go. I need to slow down from now on when I do the zips.
Nobody
So
wanted to envision that in their minds right now, Eric.
you you do not know the comments I get.
Oh gosh. No, I don't want to know. All right, well,
Okay.
character corner. Matty Finchio. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He was the, or he's like the new chief now. Like I didn't realize he was in this series, and so I was pleasantly surprised seeing him. Now I hope he's in future ones. Like I'm trying to like read
I will
your.
I will unlike the Derek things, I'll tell you, he is
Yes.
throughout the
Okay,
entire
great.
show.
I was trying to read your facial features as I said that to make sure. I was like, oh no, is he like going to get killed off in the next movie, or they just forget about him? Because I think he adds a lot. I think he's a great character actor. So he for me was it, but I could have totally picked the Angels as well when you had mentioned that. I was like, oh, I would have picked them, but I picked
Yeah.
Maddie. So
I'm I'm going with the Angels. I love their whole scene, like the set that they built
oh
for
yeah,
that.
that's so fun.
Um, when I have we have an interview with Keegan and she talks about that. Fantastic. Plus, like her outfit and her hair, I thought was like so cool. And then Egon, how he just keeps coming in and out, and he's that fun, like humor that we just need interjected in there
Yeah,
throughout where but
yeah.
he's not like sometimes when we get a character like that, I think they go over the top. Whereas we know, we said it before, it's like you get to that line where it stays funny, and if you go too far, then it becomes like, shticky. Whereas I think he just takes it right to that line. So I think the two of them are just absolutely great characters, and they do move it along um, pretty well. And so I absolutely loved both of them.
Well, Hallmark trivia time. So I have three pieces. Number one of the most demanding scenes, which we haven't talked about, to film was a cold stunt heavy lake sequence done in February in Vancouver, which again, I live in Minnesota. That would be freezing to do a lake scene in the middle of winter. So, despite wetsuits, the actors endured real temperature challenges. And then that scene is part of the key crossover in part two, which it says, this is what the internet says. And which
No,
I think
you're
many of
giving
us,
spoilers away.
well, and it nods to The Way Home's iconic water scene. And so, like, that's how I thought of The Way Home instantly. When they're running through the woods, the White Witch, like you're running after the White Witch, that's a total
Uh,
nod to The Way Home.
okay,
So,
well here's like I've heard that too. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it's ripping off the way home and everything like that." This is a book that was written
no,
years
I
ago.
think they're
So it
saying like whoever, like they wanted like a little wink, little
okay.
wink, like a Hallmark wink at them. That's what I gathered from what I saw online. Because then my next one, time travel fans will enjoy subtle echoes of The Way Home, such as the forest, dreamlike visuals, and the watery turns from the past, converging motifs that feel intentionally familiar, but still unplanned. That is what I found. That is from Tech Radar. So that
Uh,
is,
um,
I think it's a wink. I think Hallmark said, just as we had talked to like Dylan Neal, how they, sometimes he would say
right.
like Hallmark tells us to put in these Easter eggs. I think that's maybe what they told them, like put in this Easter egg for people who like The Way Home. I don't
I
know.
will find out if that's true because I've been talking to Lucy Guest and
Oh
Siobhan
yes, please
Divine
do.
about who are hopefully coming on the podcast, and I will
Yes.
ask them if that
Say
is
this is
true or
what Tech
not.
Radar is reporting. Let us know. Is this true?
Yes,
That'd be
because
fun to
I
find out.
think people are just trying to tie them together because they're quote unquote series and stuff. But
I think it's a wink. I
from
think it's
Lucy
like an Easter
Guest,
egg. Yeah.
my what I have was they actually filmed this um, in reverse of the movie, and they filmed it. So obviously, the first episode back to forward. It is, by the way, it's three or two directors. Lucy did first and third, and Siobhan did second. The but they also then when they went to all the Ireland scenes were filmed at one time for all three movies. So they did that so the characters
Mm.
or the actors could stay in character because they had to keep their accents. And when I talked to, I was going to call him Liam, when I talked to Lachlan and Katie, that's what I was asking like, oh, is it hard for the accents? And Katie is like, no, because I got to do it like once and I just, was in and out. Whereas Lachlan had to keep his accent through the entire time. And one of the things like he talked about in the interview was he was like all nervous because they had 1 week to get their accents. I thought they nailed them personally.
Yeah.
But like he was like all nervous that he was getting better at doing it. So when you like look back at his earlier scenes, he wasn't going to stay consistent
Oh
with
yeah.
his Irish accent. And so he was
That's
all
funny.
nervous about that. And I mean, he's Australian. So like I actually had to look him
I
up because
did
I thought
listen
he
to
was,
your interview,
uh,
Eric. I did
so
hear
yeah.
this. So don't you
So, well,
worry.
not everyone listened. So,
So
but
it
yeah,
was
so I
only
found that
15 minutes.
fascinating
It's a
how they went
tidbit.
and filmed that. Because like we all, it's like easy to always think like movies are sort of filmed in some sort of sequence of the thing, but how they just do block it and do, shoot it all that way.
You
So
love the
it's like
behind the
all the
scenes.
things. I
Yeah,
do.
I love that. I'm taking it. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not like those. That's
I,
not what gets me with
Katie was
movies.
on I think season 5 of American Idol.
Well, that's fun. Anything else?
She didn't win, but
Well,
no, that
we
was
would
my
have
big
known
one.
her. Well, that's fun. Does she get to sing in this series or like in these movies?
Do you think I'm gonna do
Uh,
any spoilers?
yes.
I'm a spoiler-free zone.
Okay, fine. I'm not. I don't know any spoilers, so I can't spoil anything. Well, Hallmark and Chill. I do not have a Murder She Wrote episode
You never went to
because
Ireland?
she did many times actually, but that's not what came to mind for me. What came to mind, Mr. Monk's Last Case, a Monk movie. The Angels, they were all in the white. Because as I
Oh
was
yeah.
watching this, I'm like, what movie is this reminding me of? And I'm like, oh, that's where the Angels and like that whole thing. So that is what I'd recommend. Eric and I did review it on this podcast probably a year or so ago now. But Mr. Monk's Last Case, a Monk movie, it is on Peacock. I think you recommend it too. I recommend it. I thought it was
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
fun.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
you like Monk, definitely check out
Yeah.
that movie. What do you got?
So mine, I'm recommending something I have never seen.
Oh,
And it's coming out, I think it may come out next week or in 2 weeks. And it's on Acorn and it's called Irish Blood and it's starring Alicia
Alicia
Silverstone.
Silverstone. Oh,
Yes.
I might get Acorn just so I can watch this. It's Ireland
And
and Alicia
yeah,
Silverstone.
it's in Ireland and she's investigating whatever the death of her father. So it's really nothing like it, but it's steep in Ire like she's an American who goes to Ireland and so it's
Or
just
Haunted Harmony. I mean, we could have
deep in
taken it
there. Yeah.
easy. Haunted Harmony, Ireland, and Ghost.
Oh
Not
yeah,
that
there
there's
we go.
ghosts. Well, I guess there's not ghost per se, but you know.
And Angels Ghosts, same thing.
Okay. I don't know.
We
Is
don't
that
know
that would
what we
be a
don't
good
know
debate?
technically what their
That's a
whole
great debate,
divi
Eric.
we don't know exactly what their
You're a
divinity
ghost.
is.
Are you an angel? Interesting.
They never went specifically into it. So
Well, now I'm going to ask you. That's an intriguing cocktail. I don't drink cocktails, but cocktail conversation. Are angels and ghosts the same things? Someone asked that. The next time you're like at a boring thing, just strike up a random conversation.
just
That's
drop
fun.
that out of the blue.
Just drop it out. Then, if
Uh,
you want to get out of a conversation, that's how. And then people will be like, and I'm going to leave this person alone.
perfect.
Well, what do you all think of this movie? So I did my voting on my Instagram page, and this is 12 hours in, so it's not quite the full 24 yet. It is very stark. We have two distinct favorites. 5 out of 5 loved it, 35%. 4 out of 5, it was good, 16%. The highest, 3 out of 5, middle of the road, 42%. So most thought it was middle of the road. And then one or two, not the best, was 6%. So right now, very much like me and you, like I was the middle of the road, you loved it. And so I'm going to be very intrigued to see how those numbers play out as we keep going to the next two movies if they start to grow more into the loved it as we see more of these characters. So that's kind of fun. Well, next week we're going to review Providence Falls in Impossible Promise and Chicken Sisters episode 1. So we have that coming back as well. So
Get some
2 new
Leah, get some
things coming
Wendy.
up. I'm excited. So keep
I am
on
too.
the new content. That's what I like.
I know, but they're like series, right? We have to wait a little bit for our Mystery Island, and for you, we have to wait
That's fine.
for
That's fine.
2026.
I know all year I've been waiting for something I'll love. Just no. Well, something I loved ended up being like Rosemary Time and Shakespeare and Hathaway and Private Eyes, all of the stuff I hadn't seen that got released. So that's mine so
You know
far.
what I on my flight to Ohio, I was watching, I downloaded Pie in the Sky, which was the series that Dylan
Hannah
wanted
Swenson.
to do the update on for Gourmet Detective instead of Gourmet Detective. And Pie in the Sky it's a British series from like I think
Oh, I
the
thought you were
80s.
talking about the Hannah
No,
Swenson
not
movie.
Pie to Die For. So this was the one that Dylan Neal wanted to do the remake of and
Oh,
like
yes, yes.
update it. And it's very dated. And I watched first 3 episodes of it. And so I was talking to him about it. And he's like, well, I didn't want to actually do that per se. I just thought like, what is you saying? The bones of it was something that would be able to be recreated as far as like the characters, but totally redoing and stuff. Because I was like, this is not the best mystery I've ever seen. And I was a little bit questioning Dylan there. So, but then he explained it. And I do
Oh,
see the premise of it because it's a guy who's a detective, but he's also in his spare time, he's like a gourmet chef and everything. And that's like his hobby, but he's like fantastic at it. And that's all he wants to do is cook. So there's like that premise. I think that's all he wanted to keep from it. Kind of like the gourmet
yeah.
detectives, if you read the book, he kept very little from the books too, as is often the case with the cozies.
Well, and this is based off a book too. Providence Falls is so.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
You got to watch all 3.
All right. So if you, like me, didn't enjoy it, let's give movie 2 a chance and maybe watch movie 1 again. I'm going to go and finish it right now.
All right. Well, until next time, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark Channel.